I'm going to talk about the risk factors which COPD would come about, and also the symptoms that the patient might present, and was described very picturesquely by Dr. Apolinario earlier. So, who are at risk of COPD and how do we identify them? These are 5 questions, very basically, that one might ask to find out if the patient may have COPD. Is the patient coughing several times a day? Is there phlegm or mucus that comes out on most days? Especially this goes on for at least 3 months in a year, for 2 successive years by definition. Do you get more out of breath very easily when you are with the people of your same age? For example, you're walking together, one would be walking faster than you, so maybe you cannot keep up. And are you aged 40 or above? And are you or have you smoked in your life? So if you have answered yes to 3 of these questions, then probably really you might have COPD, and you might have to go to the pulmonologist and see if you really have COPD. So these are actually very simple questions that one could ask or oneself or to others if you are having COPD. Now, however, there are 3 important factors here that we have to look into. First is what we call the ABCs. You see that there is a small s after the ABC. So A is the age. Usually, COPD comes on at a later age, meaning that you have smoked for a long time. And Dr. Apolinario, again, he mentioned to you that he had been smoking for a long time. He could not stop smoking. See, this bears brunt and burden to your lungs until such a time that you may become symptomatic. And then you become breathless. And the moment you become breathless, this is quite progressive, worsening over a period of time. And usually more when you exercise. And it is persistent. It's occurring every day. It is not like asthma that one day you are short of breath, some days you are okay, but with COPD, there's always that persistent every day. And as described by the patient, the increase in effort, and describing it as heaviness, or air hunger, gasping, hanging on to the last breath that they may have. So this is usually the description that they would say. And that the patient may have chronic cough. And this chronic cough may just be with sputum or without the sputum. And the small s there has to be a background of exposure. And the most common exposure is smoking. We have seen that in many studies. However, it's not the only cause. For example, in our occupation, if you are constantly exposed to some chemicals, for example, dust, okay? And then, of course, it has been reported now the exposure to what we call the biomass fuel, in which the burning of, let's say, wood used in the rural area to cook had been a very important factor in some areas of the world, especially if the house is more or less unventilated. Then you might be exposed to smoke. In our country alone, the burning of the fields after agricultural harvest could also be a factor. And we have found this in the rural area. That's why the prevalence reported by Dr. Trinidad, it's much higher in the rural area because they have this particular kind of practice. So on the left side, you could see now the symptoms, breathlessness, cough, wheezing, could also be perceived, chest tightness, sputum production, and fatigue as a result over the years of this particular ABC. So who gets COPD? Again, we emphasize very much that smokers are the #1 target. Although, mind you, not all smokers actually develop COPD. 15 to 20% of these patients only develop COPD. Why? Maybe because of some genetic thing. We really don't know. But if you get one, then it becomes quite progressive. Environmental exposure is very important. I have mentioned about biomass fuels, the use of burning wood at home, and then the chemicals or dust fumes. And also some of the patients may have worked previously on dusty or smoking places. And then we have another cause, and this is called the genetic kind of COPD or cause. And this was discovered earlier on during the 60s, showing that there are families in which they would develop COPD even if they have not been smoking that much, and they usually develop before the age of 40. So any younger individual, and it runs in families. So that is another very important information that you might want to get from the patient. So this is just a caricature to show you the pathways in which, after being exposed from a cigarette smoke, as you could see there, the patient may start coughing initially and might attribute it as what? Smoker's cough. Okay? Then eventually, this individual could develop chronic mucus production. Why? Because the smoke itself actually induces inflammation inside the airways, and you could see from the trachea to the branching of the airways, inflammation is induced. What do you mean by inflammation? Well, there are more cells, the lining of the airways becomes reactive, there is damage to the lining epithelium, essentially of the airways, and when these inflammatory cells disintegrate, they release what we call protease substance. These are substances that actually destroys the lung and overcome the protective anti-protease factor in the lung.